Welcome to day 39 of the 77-day video challenge. We are just now past the halfway point of this project. Take that for it's worth to you. This evening I wanted to talk to you about two movies that I've experienced some shift in my thoughts about them just within the last 24 hours. One is The Greatest Showman, and the other is the 1980 movie Flash Gordon. As I may have mentioned about a week and a half ago, my church has a sermon series through the end of July, centered around the movie The Last Showman, starring Hugh Jackman. Musical, big, splashy story of P.T. Barnum. I first saw this movie about just a little over 4 years ago, a couple of months after it had made it big, and people were just raving about how wonderful and inspiring it was and how awesome the music was. I saw this movie a few days after my father died, and I needed to feel something. And I knew that this movie was going to give me something to feel, that I would feel joy, I would feel passion, I would feel inspiration, something would touch me. And at the time, nothing happened for me. I just ended the movie pretty much stone-faced, didn't feel inspired, didn't feel grief, didn't feel triumph, anything. And one of the centerpieces to that movie is the song This Is Me. And even before I had seen that movie, I knew that people loved this particular song, as it was all about empowerment and identity and community. And when I finally saw the movie and saw that sequence, I didn't feel much. Okay. Pretty cool. Big showy number. It's very adequate. Great. Good on you, kids. Well, that particular song was offered up as part of the church service today in the sermon series around the Greatest Showman. Well, instead of the usual presentation of that song with a whole crowd of people and choreography and loud instruments, it was one person presenting an acoustic version of this song, and I loved it. It meant something to me this time. I didn't cry, I didn't get weepy, and it didn't just tear me open, but it meant something to me because it was an expression of a personal revelation, and that's what that song should have been to me from the very first time I heard it. Maybe I'm just partial to acoustic covers, but this was one voice accompanied by on an acoustic guitar, and it was magical. I've thought for some time that it was kind of ironic in a way that this song about self-empowerment and identity usually is presented in this as a big choreographed number with a whole crowd of people singing in unison about individuality. That strikes me as kind of odd. Kind of, all the nonconformists, please stand up. Nevertheless, I have a different perspective on that movie, and more particularly on that song. The other movie that I re-evaluated in the last 24 hours is the 1980 movie Flash Gordon. Last night I watched a documentary titled Life After Flash, which focuses around the actor who played Flash Gordon in that 1980 movie and the ups and downs in his career throughout the making of that film and in the 42 almost 42 years since its release. I started watching it because I was curious what has gone on in his life since that movie was made, because I knew that things had been a little bit turbulent. So I expected it to be just about Sam J. Jones. And more than about half of it really was about Sam J. Jones's journey from that movie to the year 2022. His the struggles in his life, his career the career pitfalls, and his spiritual journey, and he shares in at many points throughout that film, throughout his interviews, his the his transformation as a man of deep Christian faith. This is what I expected out of this documentary because it was co-produced by Sam J. Jones. So this was about Sam J. Jones, and let's tell Sam J. Jones how much we love him, right? Well, it also profiled the making of that movie, and they interviewed people I have not seen for years. There were Peter Weingart, Melody Anderson, Brian Blessed, who is a treasure every time the camera was turned on him, and some of the other people who were involved in the film. I never had realized what a challenging film that really was, how difficult it was for the people making it, and how delightful many of them are in their recollections of the challenges in making what some people have said was the most expensive improvised movie ever made. My perspective on these two movies is remarkable because, in a way, where the Greatest Showman was concerned, I was a late adopter. It had been that movie had been out for a couple of months before I ever got around to seeing it. And I had certain expectations of it which were never met. Flash Gordon, on the other hand, I saw early. I saw it a few months before it was released. I think I saw it in August of 1980, about 3 or 4 months before it officially went into release, the beginning of December of 1980. I was so excited about the movie, and I loved that movie, and I still have tremendous affection for all of its gaudy silliness. So it's remarkable to hold these two flashy, sparkly movies in such stark contrast. A movie which has inspired many people and has some much loved songs, and another movie that's sparkly and exciting and has a lot of color and some famous and a famous soundtrack as well. And yet my feelings on these two movies are so radically different. They're entirely different movies, and yet each one of them focuses around a character that people now lift up as an instrumental figure, a role model for all of those who came after them. The Greatest Showman, P.T. Barnum, who revolutionized entertainment, the character of Flash Gordon, who, by some accounts, was really the first superhero. To contrast these two films has over these last 24 hours and understand each of them in a different way is has been a real thrill as I've marinated on what those two movies have meant to me and to other people. Thank you for visiting, spending a little bit of time with me this evening for day 39, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 40 as we enter 30, the last half of the 77-day video challenge. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.